you're writing Toy Story 4. So you write this little indie film that gets made for about $1 million, and then you're giving the keys to the most beloved franchise of all time.
To hopefully not fuck it up.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Did that job come directly as a result of the story you created in Celeste and Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, they're always looking for new ways to tell stories. Like, they're obsessed with story and character, and in such a healthy way. And they look at independent film writers and people who are like, have nothing else but story, because, you know, they can't hide behind the studio system. Like, they just have to write a good script that a lot of times don't even get made. And that's where they look for people, you know?
So how does that call come in?
It was basically like they have a list of writers that they like, that they read their scripts and they like them. So Mary Coleman, who runs development there, she's awesome, and she read Celeste and Jesse before we made it, and she invited Will and I to come up and take a tour just to see it. And I cried when I left because it was like the most magical, beautiful place I'd ever been. And I just sat in the car and was like, I want to work here. I have to work here. I want to work here. And she called a couple years later and said, I have a project that I think you guys might be right for. Would you come up and interview? And we said, absolutely. And so we did.
But is there a part of you where you're kind of not believing it as it's happening?
I still don't believe it. Sometimes I have to like reboot and remember what I'm doing, because it's like the craziest. It's the craziest thing ever. Just to work with all the people who started the company, like, they still have such a crystal clear vision of what's important, and they are relentless about it. Like, they will not let something slip through the cracks. Like, if story's not working, it's not working. You break the whole thing apart and you start over. Like, they're so willing to do that, and definitely no other studios do that. The most talented people, all the people we look up to, all the people I work with, everybody has bad ideas. Nobody is immune to a bad idea, you know, like, and the question is, how far do you go with the bad idea and how far do you go with the good idea? Like, when I see what the talent is, like, what's the common thing in the talent of all the people at Pixar, it's that they know how to keep going. It's just about, you just keep going. You just take something and then you get more specific with it, and then it starts to build a life because you're paying attention to it. It's like watering a plant, you know?